Hello and welcome. Welcome to 2022. January 2022, I'm going to be doing readings from my cards. My name is Emily Baker. I am a spiritual medium and a psychic artist. Tonight I'm going to be using my Perceptionary Cards, which are these, to see what the month of January has in store for us. Now, some of you are probably already listening to many other people. That's absolutely fine, about their predictions about the month of January. So my cards are slightly different. If you haven't seen these readings before, please have a look through and see what you think of what's happened in 2021. Okay, I'm just going to quickly choose a card. Here we go. So I'm going to get to see it at the same time as you for the first time. Right, okay. So the first thing I want to do is to decide which way this card will actually go. And it may end up this way round. What I'm looking for is which way feels comfortable for me. And which way it feels the right way for me to have the card. So again, these cards are different perhaps from other oracle cards that you've seen, from other perhaps tarot cards. They're very different from tarot cards or even soul cards. Okay. Do you know what? I am going to have it this way around because I've actually seen something I've not seen I've not seen before actually. Certain things I have seen, certain things I haven't seen. The first thing I want to pull out for you is, for me, I'm seeing a horse here with a mane down here. Now, when I first looked at the card, that's not what I saw at all, but I am actually seeing a horse. There's its nose and its mouth there. Ears are up here. And here's a person with a staff, and here's another person. This looks much more shamanic-y kind of a person. This looks like much more of a, 1800 farm labourer kind of a person. Behind here looks like the mane of another horse. So yes, for me, horses are about stability and about strength. This is a card full of perhaps fire and passion, but if we have a look at the colour of the horse, we see that it's very earthy colours, dark and very brown, and there's hints of green in there as well. Again, for me, these are much earthy colours. This kind of mixture of colours indicating to me that there's a strong background of stability. There is actually stability. However, and I do have to say, however, up here, there isn't so much stability going on. There's much more fluidness, much more movement, and especially with this gentleman here and this gentleman here. For me, if I'm looking at the shamanistic kind of a side of it, I'll be also saying there's a lot of spirituality. And I say this in a very broad general meaning of it, because spirituality for some people is about Christianism or being a Jew or being a Muslim. For others, it's about understanding that we actually have the spirit within us. And that's where I'm looking at it. It's actually looking at us, the spirit, not looking at a religion per se. But it's actually looking at what is contained within us, our strength. And I feel as though our strength is definitely going to be needed in January. January is one of those months where it can be very quiet. Not a lot happens. It's winter time here in the UK. And so there are things that are hibernating. We get mixtures of weather, and also our temperaments change with that weather. Who doesn't smile and laugh a lot more when the sun is shining compared to rainy days, which is what we've been having for the last few weeks. And therefore the smiles and the jollification is harder to come about. But I also see this man here working. And for me to see someone working, I know it's going to be some hard work. It's needed. And again, we also use horses as work horses. There's a workhorse. We also have a look at our cars. Our cars go horse miles per hour. Okay, so it's how many horsepower, isn't it? Horsepower. And that is literally how many horses it would take to get to a certain speed or whatever. What do I know about cars? I know nothing about cars. But again, horses were our stable point. They were our point of where we went and said, okay, this is what we're looking at. This is how we use them for ploughing the fields, moving us from A to B, moving crops from A to B, and they're still used around the world to this day. But they're also full of grace. They're still full of knowing, and they have that wisdom about them. And hence why I want to come back to the green. Okay, so the green here and here. Now, I know you may say, gosh, there's not much green. But that green is about the wisdom, okay? And for me, this colour, this darker green is about wisdom. Here it's about fire, energy, getting things going, wanting to get moving. We don't want to be sedentary. And I don't feel as though January is going to be sedentary looking at this. This is going to be, if you're not working, then you're working within yourself about the spirituality, about who you are, where you're wanting to be. A horse takes us on a journey. Okay, they're our companion on a journey, just much like a dog, but they will also look out for us. You know, you won't find, there are some very beautiful horses who are very sure-footed, very, very sure-footed. And so when we feel rocky, or when we're in a territory where we're slipping and sliding in mud and it's up to our ankles in mud, literally, I've been on one of those walks today, you have to have something that is strong by your side, who will lead you through those times. That is where the horse comes in. The horse also allows us to actually go forward as well, faster than what we would do if we were just walking, because we ride them many a time, as well as them being able to sense when we are in need of that companionship. There is an inner knowing between us and the horse. Hence, back to the shaman guy. Now, I'm just looked at this shaman guy again, and he looks like he's got a cowboy hat on, so he's ranching, maybe, who knows, corralling everything together. So I want to work on that theme of being corralled together, or being corralling things, ideas coming together, ideas of where you're wanting to be. What is it that you're wanting to go? What are your plans for 2022, for just for the month of January, let alone for the rest of the year? This is a card that is not one to say, okay, I'm just going to lay back and let things happen. This is where you're going to be actively doing things. January is going to be a month, even though we think of it being quite quiet, actively we're going to be doing quite a lot of stuff. And if it's not actually working, then it's working within ourselves. Now I just want to have a look to see what else we have got going on, if there's any, you know, and again, this feeling of journey coming in as well. So I think there's more of the inner journey that we're going to be doing. Now, I also want to just say, last year, I know that communication kept on coming up a lot in the cards. I haven't got communication coming up here, but there is communication between the man and the horse, obviously, but not in the communication that I was kind of getting at the end of last year. Because communication was really quite important, how we communicated to each other. Now, as you can see, while I'm turning the card around, there's many different aspects to this card that you can see. Lovely. I'm just going to turn it up that way for a moment. It's funny when you get to see something in one way, to unsee it is very, very difficult. You just kind of have to go, oh my gosh, what is it that I'm seeing? Okay. And again, all that I can see are these people here and the horses. Normally when I've picked this card before, I've only seen these as being mountains. Now let's have a look at it as being mountains, as being things that we're wanting to climb, to achieve. But look, if we are here, if we are this person here, then we've achieved what we needed to achieve. So what is it that you need to have a look back at? And have a look back at 2021. You see, January is also a month of reflection. We are in this winter month of reflection, not just about ourselves, but also about the previous year. What is it that we did like or didn't like? What is it that we would like to change? Is there something about us that we would like to change? And hence the reflection part comes in. So let's have a look at what mountains we've overcome in 2021 for us to be able to say, yes, I've done that. And it is about being able to say, oh my gosh, I have come through this. Not to just to say, oh, okay, I've come through this. Now let's get on with X, Y, and Z. No, it's about saying, oh my gosh, I've achieved this, this, and this. And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is to other people. It's things that matter to you. Not to me, but to you. This is about you, not about me, once again. Really important to say that. Because if we're looking at this shaman, it's about you. If we're looking at these as mountains and hillsides, it's about what you've overcome in the last 12 months. And you may have to sit there for a moment or two. I know I've had to do that and think, actually, what happened in 2021? A lot happened. In some areas, there were lockdowns, people not being able to work. Then lockdowns were lifted, then they came back, and then they were lifted again. But everything changed. Each time that the restrictions were lifted, they changed. Our lifestyles changed. Our perspectives of what we wanted from our work or how we wanted to live our lives changed. There was a lot going on in 2021. And that's excluding the weather. Okay, so we were still dealing with the weather where it's calmer, brighter to a certain extent, but I don't really remember the summer being extremely hot. Maybe I'm wrong. That's how I remember it. And again, it's how you remember things. It's about you seeing it for the best and seeing what it is that where you would like to be. This man is overlooking the horses, those hills, and saying, this is what we've achieved. Well done. And it's okay to say well done to yourself. It's okay to pat yourself on the back and say, that's great. Look, you've got that inner strength. Go back to the horses. Horses are all about strength. And it's good to have that inner strength, to know that you've got that inner strength, to come through adversity, to go through trials and tribulations where you didn't think you could get through them. And you've come out the other side. I know for 2021, a lot of people were, there was a lot of disagreement, people splitting up. There was a lot of people who were kind of going, oh my gosh, I need to reassess my life. There was a lot of that going on in 2021. There were things where people went, I want to change this. This is what I want to do. And going straight forward. Towards the latter half of the year in 2021, things sped up incredibly quickly. Now you may be having this quieter time, and I say quieter time compared to how December, November, October, September have been in 2021, for you to be able to slow down, to be able to reflect, to look back and say, I may not want to actually move that quickly again. Do I really want to have things speeded up so fast that I don't know my front from my back and all the rest of it, and I don't know which way I'm going? Some of you may be saying, no, I want to go faster. I want it to project even faster. All I would say is careful for either side. So January, I feel, is the time for reflection. This card has given me that opportunity for reflection, to look back, to celebrate my achievements, but also to recognize the work that I have put in, to recognize also the work that I still perhaps need to do, to recognize as well that I'm not alone. That spirit within me is there, and it will always be there, to recognize that aspect of myself, to know that I've got the sure-footedness to be able to go forward to where I need to be further on. I need to also look up. This gentleman is looking down. I need to look up. The shaman is pointing off into the distance and saying, you know, that's the way that you need to go. Is it? You know, I need to look up to see where it is that I'm going. So it's all of that, to have that visualization, to say that's where we need to go, to tender to look after the inner strength within us as well. So thank you very much. Again, this is from my set of perceptionary cards that I've created, and you can get these on my website. If you've enjoyed this reading for the month of January, please do have a look through previous months as well, all of which can be found on this channel, which is Emily Baker Psychic Medium. But you can also find a link to my website, and you can also order a pack of your own perceptionary cards. I look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, use the time wisely, look after yourself and those around you. Keep safe, keep well. Let your health be your wealth. Look after yourselves. Thank you.